If we may, face the flag and I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Made it. 6 o'clock. All right, you've seen the agenda. Is there any additions and or corrections that anybody has regarding the agenda?
Pat, when I talked to you, you wanted legal updates maybe moved above the alderman?
It just really depends if we have any interviews this evening. Reason being, we only have
Sam
legal
has to-
counsel until 7 PM. So we need to make sure legal updates are completed by 7 PM.
So I guess I would suggest we move.
We will have one in,
Ward 3?
yes.
Okay.
I would suggest we move that, number 10 to number 8.
And I would suggest,
No?
due to a citizen's comment, that we add a public input between 4 and 5, with the idea that the public may only input comments that pertain to number 5, number 6, number 7, and number 8.
We had a conversation a little bit ago about that. Number 5 and number 6 are public hearings. We're acting as the zoning committee at that point. Number 7 is the redistricting, and it basically is an answer to a request from the county. Number 8, I guess, is dependent upon who all applies or has applied. But
I just know that number 10 will take a little bit of time. There will be executive session needed for that.
well, we can move number 9. We're moving number 10 to number 7A, if that's what you want to call it. We can move number 9 right after the approval of the minutes. If that's what you'd like to do.
Well, if people have something to say about the variance hearings before they're voted on, that would maybe be appropriate.
If they're allowed that offer, or they're offered that opportunity. Is that all right?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda, moving number 9 in between 4 and 5, and number 10 between 7 and 8.
I'll second that.
Okay, let me write that down here. Dave and Linda. Okay, motion has been made, changing 2 items. Item 10 will be moved to, I'm going to call it 7A, and item 9 will become 4A. Excuse me, I should say 7B, not 7A, because technically speaking, there already is a 7A. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, would you repeat that? You lost me between 7A and 7B.
Yep, number 9 is moved to 4A.
Okay.
Number 10 is moved to 7B, not 7A. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Rise. How about the minutes of September 7th and September 20th meetings? Everybody get a chance to look at those. If so, and there is no other discussion at this time, we would need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of September 7th and September 20th.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes of September 7th and September 20th, 2021 meetings. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Well, 4A is public input. We will have that at this time.
Okay, I do have a couple things I want to touch on. Has the Christensen lawsuit been settled?
No.
No, okay. And I am assuming that on the 307 Iowa Street, has that been settled?
I've been working with Mr. Clausen's attorney to ensure that he complies with ordinances required. He has a building permit, etc. As you know from being here, there's an extensive amount of work that needs to be done to his property. We're not, at least this is my own personal opinion, that we're not expecting that that extensive amount of work gets done in a compressed time period, like 30 days. So with respect to the term settled, I don't believe there's any pending litigation. He's represented by an attorney, and through that attorney, the city has worked with him to get items on a list in conformance with the property maintenance code, so those efforts are ongoing. I'm not sure I've answered your question.
Okay, close enough. Two other things. There's a pig ordinance. What ordinance number is that, please?
A what?
A pig ordinance.
It's in our older ordinances.
Okay, but I need a number.
I will have to look it up for you. I
Okay.
don't know it off
Would you
the top of my
email that to me, please? And the last thing I have are the tablets that were purchased. It's my understanding that former council member, Mr. Kaiser, was not afforded one of those tablets to take part in meetings with. Is that a correct assumption, or why wasn't he given one? Because those were ostensibly purchased with the idea of working off-site council meetings.
Were all of you given one?
Yes,
And you've got them at home, or?
yes.
And I asked him, he did not take it, it was on his workspace.
Okay, well, I was just following up on that because the information I had was he wasn't aware. He was aware that there were tablets, but he wasn't aware that they were handed out, so.
Pat, can you send me the pig ordinance too? I didn't know we had one. I'd love to read it.
Okay, I think that, and I will be contacting you for the credit card information. You said after Wednesday? Okay, okay. Well, that's everything I've got for right now.
Is there any other public input?
Yes, I'll be brief, but boy, that cemetery, just beautiful. I've never seen it look that good. It's just gorgeous. That's all.
It has been
It
taken
is.
care of here lately. That's true.
Very pretty.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I have public input.
All right.
I think we need to spread the word. However, we can do that through ads and maybe even more effectively through personal contact. We need some applicants for wait staff at our place on the Hill Community Center that will hopefully be opening sometime after the 20th of October. So if you know of anybody that's interested in a part-time job, wait staff, we could certainly use some applications.
Right. Is there any other public input? All right, hearing none, we will call 4A finished, and we will move on to 5, we are a few minutes late going into the variance hearing, and we were just talking about this a little bit ago. This is basically a public hearing regarding this variance, and you as a council are acting as the zoning board during this hearing. You can see Joe and Sonia, let's see, I think it's one of your documents in here. Yes. Joe and Sonia Constance, Lot 1, Block 5, Ofsted. There's a variance request there. Secondary front yard, 15 feet rather than 25 feet. Rear yard, 10 feet rather than 25 feet. That is what they're asking to be varied. Is there any discussion? Look at the back of the sheet, there's a map drawn there. It's got the beacon, I believe that's a beacon line around the lot. I guess I don't know if anybody's got any issue with it. If not, I would need a motion to approve that variance.
There's been a sign down there. The neighbors should know.
I'll make a motion to approve the variance of Sonia and Joe Constance, Lot 1, Block 5, Ofsted, and Sperry's addition, Alcester.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve Joe and Sonia Constance, Lot 1, Block 5, Ofsted, and Sperry's addition, Alcester City. Variance as written. Is there any discussion? I did. Hearing no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, then we'll talk about a little ahead of time here.
Are we going to number 7? Or is that gonna take longer than 12 minutes?
No, it shouldn't take
I
long.
don't think it would take very long. It's pretty straightforward, but
So,
would you explain to us how this all came to be, please?
yes, on Friday, one of the county commissioners called our office and asked that we put this on there, on the agenda for you to consider. There is legislation that's being entered to split up District 16. So on the back side of this document, on the top, is what District 16 currently covers. And it's basically Union County, so it's all the cities in the Union County. The picture down below, the legislation that's being entered or discussed is to split 16 and move the southern half, use I-29 and Highway 50 as the dividing line. So everything to the west and south would become District 17, and everything to the east and north of those two lines would stay in 16. The commissioners of Union County do not feel it is a good idea to do the redistricting. They are leaving it, we are our own entity, so we as a city can make up our own decision what we feel is best for us. But Union County passed a resolution that it would be in their best interest to keep District 16, i.e. Union County as a whole county. So That, if the city is interested in making a decision one way or the other, it would be up to us to do a resolution of some sort indicating that. And that's what I know at this time, unless Sam, you have more input on that. They do, on the South Dakota legislative site, they do have a timeline. This will go, be completed in December, I believe, so it can go into the next lobbying session. So it's this time that you can use this for discussion, passing any resolutions, one way or the other.
So there's a section here that says motion by and so on. And this was all done on the 21st date of September by the commissioners, correct? And what we're basically saying is whether we approve what they're saying.
We would have to draft our own resolution. This is just a sample of the resolution that they passed. And one of the things that Kevin Jopper told me is oftentimes you redistrict when there is growth in population and you need to kind of disperse the population. Yes, Union County has experience in the growth, but it is the commissioner's feeling it is not to the point that we need to redistrict. So.
It's safe to say that an awful lot of that growth is in the Dakota Dunes area, etc. So basically, if we did redistrict, we would be losing a large portion of that, those voting members.
I think we need to do more research about the numbers. I think they try and get the numbers split up, and I'm wondering if this isn't a result of some gerrymandering idea, try and make it politically favorable to one party or another.
Well, you kind of had a statement a little bit ago, and I don't know whether you want to necessarily go into that, but give us a little synopsis.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is, every so often we have to, there's a lot of horse trading goes on in Pierre. Some of it's political, some of it's practical, and that's how you come up with the legislative district. I'm not going to tell you how I feel one way or the other about it. I'll tell you, I live in a county where we're split as far as Lincoln County is in District 16. The part that I live in is northern Lincoln County is in different districts, a couple different districts. And so it is, whether it's somewhat by design, somewhat by happenstance, where you have political subdivisions that are crisscrossing each other on purpose. For example, you'll have a school district that can be in two different counties. You know, you'll have City of Beersford's in two different counties. And legislative districts sometimes encompass a whole county. Other times they encompass part of a county, and that is creates a little bit of a mix in Pierre where you've got to represent everybody and some folks that you don't normally associate with. I think there's always a degree of gerrymandering, David. I think you're right, and I think 16's gerrymandered the way it is now, and it'll be gerrymandered if they change it the way it is then.
How much further north will the new 16 go?
That's a good question. I gotta tell you, I have not looked at the map in some time.
And this is the only map I could find on the legislative site, and I did call Municipal League and talk to Lori, and I put an email into Yvonne, but she's getting ready for the fall meeting, so, but I don't have an answer to that. I asked that same question, but this is the only one I could find.
I do think your suggestion on a little bit more research is certainly prudent. You know, if the county could explain to us how Alcester or the rest of us are losing out if this changes, that'd be helpful. And I don't think it, if you want to sign on to this or something like it, I think that's fine. If you want to just kind of stay out of it, and not really say much, that's fine too. But I think there's always folks concerned whenever there's redistricting, and nobody ever quite gets what they want.
Is there really much to the city of Elk Point west of 29?
There's Burbank. And Wimps, which is a lot.
I was just gonna say, that's the dividing line. I mean, it looks to me like the line goes right through Elk Point, but it's I-29, right? So,
Yeah, it's I-29 and Highway 50.
So the question to me is it benefiting the big cities?
yeah, that's,
And dumping on the little towns and stuff?
I mean, Dakota Dunes moves in with Vermillion. What does that actually do? I mean, now we've got two relatively largely populated areas that are together that weren't. And I'm just asking a question.
Me
I'm
too,
saying,
but
why?
It looks fishy to me.
I do have a question on that, if I may. There's the issue at the courthouse in Canton. There was some questions raised about moving the courthouse and building a new jail facility. That came into question. So if they move that to where it was showing, all of a sudden our courts could be messed up. Because right now we're in Elk Point. When we go to court and stuff, we don't go to Vermillion. If that all of a sudden becomes District 16 that way, what kind of an issue, what kind of a judicial issue would that create?
It's a good question, if I could answer. Good question, and I understand the thought process. None is the answer. And the reason for that is kind of like I talked about earlier. You've got these different political subdivisions that do different things, and sometimes they overlap. Again, the example that I had of where a school district can encompass two different towns, and one town can be on one side of the county line and one town can be on the other. Still doesn't affect as far as the county property tax levy. I'm just going to use a fictional example. Turner County and Clay County. Turner County and Clay County still have the ability to set their own property tax levies through the commission process or referendum if they need to. The school district, if it straddles the county line and encompasses Centerville, and it'd be a weird looking school district, but I don't know, Wakanda or whatever, that district still has the power to levy its own taxes for purposes of supporting the school. So I use that example a little bit to explain that you can have a legislative district like we do currently in Lincoln County, where the northern part of the county where I live is not in legislative district 16. But all those people that are in Harrisburg, I forget the district numbers, but those T folks, the Lennox folks, all those guys are still paying the county property tax levy to support the courthouse, the sheriff's office, all those county entities. They're just represented by different folks in the legislature because for purposes of a legislative district, they live in a different box. Does that answer your question?
Pretty much. One of the issues that I was kind of looking at too from past experience, and it dealt with the school districts, that we had two school districts, and I cannot, Greater Hoyt or whatever, but some of the students were going to school in Iowa. And that's okay, they weren't being tuitioned out, but the school taxes were being sent to Iowa to support them in the Iowa schools, if I'm accurate on what I remember. And there were two different districts, the
Greater Scott and Hoyt.
and Hoyt. And
That's been dealt with in the legislature.
yeah, but what I'm saying is that we don't want to go where all of a sudden the taxes that we get on our property are going to support our schools and not going to another state or another district.
Sure.
That's
No, I understand completely, and I wouldn't want that either. As far as what I'm going to call county integrity and municipal integrity, the Union County as an entity, Clay County as an entity will still have all the powers that they have under Constitution and statute. They will just be in a different, parts of them could be in a different legislative district. So if you live in Vermillion, and you know, you're gonna be sending a different person to Pier perhaps, and the guy that was, you know, from up north of, you know, just where the Clay County line ends, he might not be able to be your legislator anymore because he lives in a different legislative box, but he could still live in Clay County, and that's unaffected.
Okay.
I think this should be put on the agenda for the next meeting so we can have a chance to research.
Good, sounds good. We'll ignore 7A then. And we'll go on to 7B, which is actually, oops,
No,
I'm sorry,
no,
we'll
no.
go on to 6 because we moved 7 before 6, yeah. It was actually a little late again. Variance hearing regarding Joshua and Audrey Carlson, 406 Broad Street.
May I approach the bench?
Sure, well, you did that real good.
So I'd like to enter into evidence. This is a letter to my neighbor. This states Audrey and I requesting from the city a 6-foot variance on the north side lot with the intent of building the addition. I only have, want to share?
Yeah, we can share this.
Okay. With the intent of building that addition on the northern side adjacent to our property, pending the approval of the council, obviously, of course. So she just signed Dan's copy there, indicating that she was okay with it. Here's a copy. You have a copy of it.
They all have that
Oh.
copy. Thank you for that, by the way.
Yep.
Very
you
well
bet.
done.
So anyway,
So you're trying to figure out a way to, so you don't have to park your white truck.
yeah, I'm trying to get it off the street and off the grass there.
So will it be even with the fence?
My fence.
Yes,
Yeah.
your fence.
Yep.
Okay.
And then, so on that picture, that black line is actually the property
The
line.
property
So
line.
we'll be off that property line.
And how far off are you off the property line?
That's a foot, I think it is right now.
So in between your two fences, is that
That's 3 feet.
3
total.
feet?
Yeah.
So you're only 1 foot and they're 2 feet then from there?
Yep,
Their fence is 2 feet?
yep. If it's any consolation to what you decide, my wife doesn't want me to build that, but.
Oh.
So Josh, when you say lean-to, is
Yeah.
it going to have 2 sides or just?
So it'll be
one
an
type?
enclosed structure,
Oh, okay.
called lean-to, so it'll be sided and
Okay.
one of those mini garage doors in the front facing the street.
Okay,
And then the new concrete will come off and attach to the new sidewalk that we want to put in the new driveway. That exists currently.
Your current sidewalk breaking up?
It is, yeah. And then there's that ash tree there that's bulging the.
So, yeah, I was just gonna ask about the tree, if you would.
I think when we bought the property, the lot to the south of us,
Mhm.
and then we had redone the concrete there, and I think they used sacred or something, that's something, 1.5 inches thick or something, so. Their address is 410, ours is 406, and there is not a structure between ours. There's just an empty lot there.
your garden.
That's on the south side.
Yeah, that's just.
Yeah. So, any questions? We did talk about drainage. We both don't want drainage to go to our backyard, so we'll put the gutters on and drain that more to the east as opposed to flooding our backyards also.
So it's basically a 6-foot variance you're asking for, changing the 7-foot setback or to a foot. Yeah,
Correct.
side yard variance, I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Do we have any public input? Do we have any, oh, go ahead.
Continue your.
Well, I was just gonna say, do we have any discussion from the zoning commission? If not, we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the variance of 406 Broad Street so they can build an addition on the north side of their garage, complete with concrete driveway and new sidewalk.
Second
been made and seconded to approve Josh and Audrey Carlson's south 25-foot of replat Lot 3 and all replat Lot 4, Block 4, original Alcester City variance request for the side yard, 6 feet variance, 7 feet standard. Actually, that should say 6 feet of the 7 feet variance, excuse me. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you for your time, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would ask the question here. Now, you all voted to recommend to the city council, recommend the variances. Now, it's my understanding you need to vote as a group to, as the city council, to accept the variances. Am I not right?
At the next meeting,
At the next meeting?
yes.
Okay.
I don't have the statutes off the top of my head, but if there's a waiting period that's required, Vicki will be sure that we have waited the correct amount of time.
All right. Now, we will move on to legal updates. Sam Nelson regarding property nuisance, 307 Iowa Street.
Work has begun on front of Mr. Clausen's house. Looks like it may have begun before he had a building permit. Let Mr. Clausen's attorney know we need to get that building permit in. There were some questions that the finance officer had that would be great if he answered, and that would help everyone out. He's done that, so I think at some point we, the city, are going to decide whether or not, if and when we provide him a permit for that. Go from there.
I'd like to go into executive session for this, please.
And that would
What number
be
would that be? I know, is it
It's
legal
Probably, yeah, legal.
-3.
number 3? Okay. I'll make a motion to enter into executive session under SDCL 1-25-2-3.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to enter into executive session for legal counsel 1-25-2-3. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Or yes. It is 6:33 p.m.
Well, from now on, it'll only be the second one.
We will, as mentioned, we will consider that public input in just a few moments. It is, I'm going to call it 7:22 p.m. Right now, we just turned 7:22 p.m. and we are officially out of executive session. We're going to continue with public input in the form of our chief of police information. You provided us a 3-page,
I think
oh, page 3 is not that.
I think it's not too deep.
Oh.
But from now on, I'll wait for the second council meeting, how about that? But pretty busy month. We had kind of some significant hours and significant cases to go over, and probably like I'm quite a few reports behind, but Grayson officially started and we had a good first week. We had some good experiences. And,
we've, we got some narcotics and drugs, we had a runaway. I'm not gonna get too much into detail on some of the details within the provided stats, but if there's any questions, I should go through them real quick, let me know.
Car versus deer, was that in town or close to town?
I think that was right outside of town. The guy came and talked to me, but I was like, that's right outside of town, so, and, county handle that one.
Yeah. Does it feel to you like you can see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel?
Yes. Sounds like we'll be having Grayson within our 15 mile policy here by the end of the month. So, guess I'm too apt to the job still. But like I said, if you go through, you have any questions, just let me know. And then I don't know, Linda, do you want me to stay for executive session? Or do you?
I don't think you need to.
Okay.
We'll address it. Cindy and I will. If we have questions, we'll call you.
It was a fun month. So.
It's like,
Boy, what you call fun.
I'm different, guys.
Yeah.
Beware Halloween.
thanks, Chief.
Thanks, yeah.
Take care.
I'll try.
All right, we will now begin item number 8, Alderman interviews. It says if needed. There are, let's see, there's an executive session regarding personnel. However, that would be dependent upon who all was going to apply and/or ask for appointment. Do we have anybody that is a Ward 2 Alderman candidate? Do not. Okay, so then item B, 8B is not going to happen tonight. And we definitely have one person that is a Ward 3 Alderman candidate. I've got a letter here. Is there anybody else that's a Ward 3 Alderman candidate? I am. We do have another. So, I guess then the next thing would be to go into executive session and have what interviews you would have done.
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2, sub 1, personnel for Alderman interviews.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Go into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2, parentheses 1, personnel. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And I will say it is 7:26 p.m. All right, that is started. I'm going to say that we are out of executive session at 7:55 p.m. And if an appointment is going to be made, we would need a motion and a second and a vote.
I would make a motion to appoint Lucas Dreesen as Ward 3 Alderman until the next election.
I'll second it.
That was Linda and Darla, correct?
Yes.
Motion's been made and seconded to appoint Lucas Dreesen as Ward 3 Alderman until the next election. Is there any discussion at this time? Hearing none, I think we'll do a roll call vote here. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Darla?
Aye.
Cindy?
Aye.
Technically speaking, Lucas, you would be able to sit as an alderman starting right now. The only thing is, I believe that you need to have an oath of office.
Yes, I don't have one of those, but I'll make one real quick.
Can anybody administer that oath? Oh, okay. I didn't know whether the legal counsel had to be here for that. So that's good. Dave, you feel like being the president of the council administering the oath of office to Lucas Dreesen?
Sure. Was I told what to say?
Yeah, I can think you can read it right off there, but he's got to echo back what you say.
Yeah, that would be good.
Sure.
Would you please give me
Actually, you can have that one. That one's never been opened.
Go up there. You want to?
Here's the oath.
Okay, Lucas, please stand.
Raise your right hand.
I, Lucas Dreesen,
I, Lucas Dreesen,
do solemnly swear that I will support
I solemnly swear I support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of South Dakota,
and the Constitution of the State of South Dakota,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duty of Alderman
the duty of Alderman
in and for Ward 3
in and for Ward 3
until the next election date
until the next election date
of the City of Alcester,
in the City of Alcester,
Union County, South Dakota,
Union County, South Dakota,
to which office I have been duly appointed.
to which office I am duly appointed.
Welcome.
Yes. Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
Needs to sign it.
Oh, yeah.
There's a spot to sign here.
Got a pen? There is a pen right there too. Usually you would have one sitting at your, typically.
Typically, they're behind your name tags.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to this, but typically the Ward 3 alderman would be sitting there.
No, Curtis says here.
Was he three? Oh, okay.
Curtis is here, Brian.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't know.
We took out the
Honestly,
tables.
I'd like
Well,
not having all the
There's
tables.
the camera, you gotta figure out which side is your best side.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
So you actually need to sign your name there.
Thank you.
Hopefully the pay you get won't kick into the next income tax, but.
No, I don't think you need to worry about that. Well, we're going to move on then to an actual item number 11, Alcester Community Center.
I asked to have this on the, on the agenda. I've gotten a couple emails from the people. We have agreed to purchase kitchen equipment from a company, and I think they want it out of their warehouse. We haven't been able to find a place for it. Some of the stuff is large enough that it won't go in the door at our storage unit.
Really? Wow.
So, well, you know, talking about a upright freezer and
That's
all
cool,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff, so.
Huh.
And, but we can't have it delivered until the floors are in and all of this kind of stuff. So they're hoping that that's gonna be done this week. So, the amount remaining on that is $11,498.84, which would be the second half of the payment.
One more time, please.
Yeah.
$11,498.84.
Okay, good.
And I would make a motion to approve final payment so that kitchen equipment can be delivered in the very near future.
So they will wait to deliver it then, do you
As
think,
soon
until?
as the floor is
They'll wait.
ready, yeah. Mostly, the rest of the stuff in the kitchen is, I mean, we've got stainless steel walls up, we've got the hood up. So the flooring, I think, right now is hold up. And last week, or 2 weeks ago, the construction guy said it would be ready to go, so we're hoping.
All right, I'll second that.
All right, motion has been made and seconded to approve the final payment for kitchen equipment totaling $11,498.84. Is there any discussion at this time?
Dave, you understand the community funding probably one most. Maybe we should tell Lucas about how it was all given.
Yeah.
I mean, so you know that it's not just a big, people are always thinking, oh, the taxpayers' taxes are gonna go up. It's-
Right.
Well, Gary McKellips was the person that started the fund drive, and he had to some matching funds, and people donated 1,000, he kicked in 1,000. And McKellips family donated quite a large amount. There was a group that used to own the Morningside Manor nursing home. They gave us a grant for a pretty good amount. The Alcester Community Foundation has kicked in some grants, and the city of Alcester is on the hook for $500,000 out of a almost $3 million project. The rest of it came from donations and these grants and things. So the money's been coming to the city, and then the city disperses it to the construction people and for the equipment and tables and chairs and all that things that we need.
Because you're gonna hear people say, oh, our tax dollar's gonna really, they don't understand that.
Right.
We were given a large amount of money for this.
And it was actually voted on, the largest amount, that amount that was as a result of the sale, right? There was a citywide vote that said, what we need is a community center, and that's where they thought the money should go. So it's been sitting there for quite a long time, waiting for the opportunity for this to happen. Our municipal golf course clubhouse is reached end of life. We knew that we were gonna have to do something. Well, that's a municipal golf course. Who's gonna pay for that? We are. So obviously, if we're gonna pay, I don't know, I'll just arbitrarily say $500,000, why wouldn't we put $500,000 towards something like this, get our portion of it as the golf course clubhouse, and also bolster the community by adding to the community center?
Absolutely.
So that's kind of where it all started, or now that's where we ended up. But there's a motion on the floor. Is there any other discussion at this time? Hearing none. I think I'm going to go with a roll call vote here too. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Dave?
Aye.
And Lucas?
Aye.
And Darla?
Aye.
And Cindy?
Aye.
Instead of Linda again. 5 ayes. Motion passed. Thank you. Looks like says hire at pay rate, et cetera. And I know you were talking earlier about appealing to the public wait
Yes,
staff.
we do have a couple people that Darla and I interviewed lately, and Pat sat in on the interviews. But Clint and Irene has agreed to be our chef and has some good ideas, I think. The rate of pay that we have tentatively negotiated is $18.50 an hour, plus retirement and single health care. And then those benefits are going to be starting on, was it the 11th?
Yes.
11th of October. With the idea that he will be organizing the kitchen and getting things ready.
I'm sorry, what date?
11th of October. So, motion to hire Clint and Irene at $18.50 per hour, plus retirement, South Dakota retirement, and single health care benefits starting on October 11th.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion has been made. Is it Clinton, C-L-I-N-T-O-N?
Not, it's no O-N, just
Just
Clint.
Clint.
Clint, I'm sorry.
Irene, N-Y-R-E.
Ah, it's Clint Irene, not,
Not Clinton.
N-Y-R-E-N-E.
T-E-N.
And thank you very much, got it. Irene. Motion to hire Clint Irene at $18.50 pay rate, plus South Dakota retirement benefit, as well as single health care benefit, starting on 11th of October 2021, has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion at this time? Hearing none. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Darla?
Aye.
And Cindy?
Aye.
I vote yes. There's another motion to hire.
Hannah.
Yep. I will make a motion to hire Hannah Ahart, yeah, as a dishwasher slash possible was she a possible waitress or?
Yeah. If we-
Waitress in training, maybe.
Good. Hannah, H-A-N-N-A.
No, 9.
45,
45 an
the
hour.
minimum wage,
Yeah, minimum
since
wage.
this isn't a tip.
9:45.
Yeah.
When do hers start?
Any benefits?
No.
Okay.
We don't have any.
We don't know for sure.
Yet.
When the restaurant
When it
opens.
opens.
there'll be-
Which is
there'll be-
hopefully,
Yeah, well,
We hope we get a waitress.
construction guy said October 20th, we get the keys. It may take a couple days to get organized after that, if that happens. We've been dealt more than one delay already.
Hannah, H-A-N-N-A.
H.
And Ahart, A-H-A-R-T.
Yep.
Motion to hire Hannah Ahart at $9.45 per hour as dishwasher and waitress slash wait staff in training.
I'll second that.
Oh,
Wasn't that
no,
motion?
motion was made and seconded.
Darla made
I'm
the
sorry,
motion.
Dave made,
Or,
No, I made the motion.
yeah, Darla made the motion and has not been
look
seconded.
at
yet.
that. I'm sorry. I'm reading the
Everything is
line
on-
right up
It
above.
goes to the second page.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put it on the first page, sorry. Okay, Darla made the motion. We would need a second.
I second.
All right, Linda made the second. Thank you.
And your mayor will let you do it your way.
All right.
Yeah.
Now the motion has been made and seconded to hire Hannah Ahart at $9.45 an hour as a dishwasher and part-time or wait staff in training. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Darla?
Aye.
And Cindy?
Aye.
I vote yes. And we'll move on to number 12, the Alcester High School library door.
Okay, I guess I'm the person that was instigator for half of the agenda tonight. The library door is really a heavy situation, and the librarian has asked that we install one of those buttons so that the mechanism so that it opens. Automatic swing operator for the library patrons. It was about a $2,500 bill, and the school, according to Mr. Reed, has voted to pay for half of it. So the cost to the library, and there's money in the library account for that, will come from the general fund, and what's ADG, that?
Automatic door group.
Okay. That's the group that's paying for it, or that will be installing it. So that's the deal there. We're gonna get a door opener, and the school's gonna be paying for half of it if we approve this, so.
You
hopefully-
said about 2,500, and
Yeah.
so this says 1,250 exactly. I mean, is it up to 1,250?
It says up to
It says up to
12. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's a little more than $2,000, but then there has to be an electrical fee brought to the mechanism, so that's why
Okay, I understand.
it's not exactly known for sure what it's gonna be.
I like the way it's written, up to 1,250.
So I'll make a motion to approve the installation of an automatic swing operator for the library door, up to $1,250 from the general fund, and that would be splitting the cost with the school, which will pay the other up to $1,250.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve splitting the bill with the Alcester Hudson High School to install an automatic swing operator for the library door and the library patrons, up to $1,250 coming from the general fund on an ADG quote. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Darla?
Aye.
And Cindy?
Aye.
We'll move on to number 13, finance officer updates. We need to approve September warrants.
I'll make the motion to approve September warrants as presented. I'll second that.
Okay, so now let's just take a moment. Lucas, every alderman gets an envelope, a folder of warrants, bills. And basically what that is you having another set of eyes looking at the bills for, I don't know, let's say you're on cemetery, you've got the cemetery folder. You would be looking at the bills associated for the cemetery for the month of September that were already written and ready to go, and we're approving the payment of that. Okay. That's basically what we're doing. It's up to you whether you want to vote on that, because you haven't had an opportunity to look at any of those bills. So, anyway, motion has been made and seconded to approve the September warrants as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Lucas, do you want to vote?
I don't need to.
Okay, we'll abstain one.
Aye.
Darla and Cindy.
Aye.
All right, 4 yes, 1 abstains. Volunteer roster.
So the EMS updates came from Jeff Nahaba. I compared the list that I currently had with the list that he gave me of the latest people. So that's where James Erickson and Brittany Hunick come from. I recommended putting Dale on there because he had some work out at the cemetery, and then to remove Cosette from the library board.
All right, I would need a motion to add and subtract those individuals named.
I'll make a motion to add Jade Erickson and Brittany Hunick to the Alcester EMS, Dale Jones to the Pleasant Hill Cemetery, and remove Cosette Hammond from the Alcester Library Board as volunteer, on the volunteer roster.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to add Jade Erickson, Brittany Hunick to Alcester EMS volunteer list, Dale Jones to the Pleasant Hill Cemetery volunteer list, and remove Cosette Heman from Heman from Alcester Library Board for the workman's comp volunteer roster. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Darla?
Aye.
Cindy?
Aye.
All right, 5 yes. City of Alcester credit charge limits.
So that is actually a handout in your packet. So we have to make a couple of changes on that to remove Chief Christie, move Austin up to as police chief, so his charge limit would be 1,000, and then to add Grayson Cannon Lass. So those are the changes.
And we would need a motion, second, and a vote on that.
I'll make a motion to approve credit card charge limits by removing Jeff Christie, by increasing charge limit to 1,000 for Austin Schuler, and adding Grayson Cannon Lass with a charge limit of 500. I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the credit card chain charge limits by removing Jeffrey Christie, increasing the charge limit to $1,000 for Austin Sculler, and adding Grayson Cannon Lass with a charge limit of $500. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
And Lucas?
Aye.
And Darla?
Aye.
And Cindy?
Aye.
Reminders and updates.
I did not have any.
Corrections. All right, nothing to remind us of right now. Then we move on to number 14, executive session if needed.
I would make a motion to enter an executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2-1.
That personnel?
Yes,
Yes.
it is. So
I'll
you can
second.
see where it says this,
Yep.
and that is dependent upon what's written down here. So number 1, you can see says employee personnel. Number 2 says legal counsel. Number 3 says contract negotiations. So that's an important step. Okay, I'm sorry. Linda, you made the motion?
Yes.
Darla seconded. The motion's been made and seconded to enter an executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2-1. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Linda, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Darla?
Aye.
Cindy?
Aye.
5 yes. It is 8:20 p.m. We are in executive session.
But then you just, that's just
Two seven after one.
like everyone.
Watch out.
I saw that.
I know, but it's almost my bedtime. I'm sleeping.
We're out at what?
8:59.
8:59.
So, yeah, and then you just get.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Wanda would like personnel executive session as well.
We probably could have just stayed in if it was personnel.
Yeah,
Then we
could.
didn't have to come back out.
We can go back in.
Okay, so
I'll make a motion, we enter executive session for SDCL 125-2-1 personnel.
I'll second it.
Is that the meeting?
No, that's take your night pills.
Oh.
I said, I don't have to have a good memory. I've got it. Okay, motion's been made and seconded to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2-1 personnel. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5 vote yes, and it just beeped, so it's 9 o'clock. So we're in executive session at 9 p.m. And there's only one thing left on the agenda after we come out of executive session at 9:12 p.m., and that's a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn council. I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn the city council. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Well, we gotta wait. We gotta wait just a moment here. They'll say that we're adjourned. I gotta write the word adjourned. Yeah, it is 9:13 p.m.
All right.
You went in at 9 o'clock, or was it 8:59?
We went in right at 9.
Okay,
Came out.
thank you.
Came out at 8:59, didn't we?
Yeah. 8:20, 8:59, 9, 9:12, and then 9:13.
Either passport or driver's license.